Okay, guys, Paul, Jim, and Daisy here aboard Southern Estate. Welcome aboard, and thank you guys for joining us today. And we're going to start a series here with Jim here. Jim's down visiting us from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the buying process. He's buying a trawler, so we'll talk about his decision to buy the trawlers. Also, like who loves the boat more, the buyer or the seller, and then and the importance of a surveyor. We'll do some bunch of videos on this subject right here. But anyway, so thanks for joining us today, and we appreciate it. And today's subject. So Paul here, and I got a special guest for us today, Jim Anderson of Catboat. He has his own YouTube channel, and I'll link one of his videos right here so you guys can see it. He does some amazing drone footage, and we're hoping we get some good weather here so you can take us out and do a little drone.
Looking forward to it. I hope we can.
Yeah, I hope the weather lets us. I'm not sure it's going to happen this trip, but Jim's out here for a couple different reasons. One was to come say hi to us, and then also he's been looking at a couple of the Grand Banks out here.
Yep.
But what I really want to talk about is what is the deciding factor of why do you switch from a blowboat, a sailboat? Because I did it. I was a sailor for that's what I first started out with. I bought a 25 Catalina sailboat.
Beautiful boat.
I love that boat. It was a lot of fun because gave me utility. It was small, kind of like your cap. Because your catboat trailerable or no?
No. It's probably 5 tons, something like that. And,
so it's a big, heavy.
Yeah, you got to leave it in the water. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so my Catalina was nice because I could raise the keel, put it on a trailer. I could actually put it on a trailer myself. So
yeah.
It was like I always joke with Bev. It was one of my favorite boats because the utility.
It was just so versatile.
Yeah, right. I could have it on Lake Mead for we would do that for the wintertime, and then in the summertime we would take it down to California. But anyway, and then we had a 34 Catalina sailboat, which was a nice boat.
That's a nice size.
Yeah, but now it's full on. If I wanted to take it from Mead to the ocean, it's semis, and it was $5,000 to move it. If you wanted to move it back and forth.
Yeah.
So that boat was stuck on Lake Mead basically the whole time we owned it until we sold it, and then we had it trucked to California, and then by then I sold it, and I didn't get to sail in the ocean. But I sailed my Catalina over to Catalina Island several times.
Yeah.
We sailed that all up and down the San Diego coast. I'm just a blast with it. So let's talk a little bit about your sailboat. How long did you have that and everything?
Well, I grew up sailing as well. From when I was a kid, I was in the Hyannis area in Massachusetts on Cape Cod. And so I grew up and learned how to sail in a little Beetle Cat. It was a little tiny little catboat, little 12-foot catboat.
Oh, no, those are the fun.
So sailing has always been in my blood. And
so with your father type thing? Or?
Yeah, my father had passed away, and I decided at that point I wanted to buy a really nice boat. And so I bought what was called a Marshall catboat. It's a 22-foot, and I think we can probably link a picture of it to this
yeah,
video.
Perfect.
And little 22-foot catboat. It was a great boat to you could overnight and weekend on. What I loved about a catboat is that it had a single sail. It was very, very simple, and you put the sail up and you go. It sailed like a dream. Absolutely loved it. I named it "You Betcha" because that was my father's favorite expression.
Oh, cool!
And
you got a little
grew up in the Midwest.
Do you got a little footage that we can share with us?
Sure.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
I'll put a little footage on here so you can see it sailing and stuff like that.
And so, so one of the things that I loved about sailing is the fact, and especially a catboat, is that you could go into skinny waters. You could go into places that very few other boats can go. It had a draft with the centerboard up of only maybe 17, 18 inches, something like that. So you could go right in over sandbars. You could go up rivers. You can go, and then all of a sudden I just thought, why not create a video series of all these little places that a catboat can go, and that's where the YouTube channel started from.
Nice.
Yeah.
But the sailing part of it, how long did you own that catboat for?
I owned that for 4 years, and
oh, nice.
And one of the things that I also wanted to do is I wanted to cruise in it. I wanted to do weekends and go different
Which you
places.
did. You can see that in your videos.
Which I did, and these are all the little places that you could go. And then there are other people that took these catboats one took it up to Greenland.
Oh wow.
You know, another one, you know, sailed it as far
Well, how
as
big do they make the cat?
the 22 feet is the largest one
Oh,
this
wow.
manufacturer makes.
Nice.
And this is a rock solid boat. I mean, these boats have been around since the 1960s, and they're famous for
cool.
their quality, and it was just a great boat. I absolutely loved it. I was in love with it.
So you had that one for 4 years.
4 years.
Sailed it around, and now, what's your head's now? What's making you switch?
I have to be honest with you. While I loved to sail it, my wife did not, and she would go out with me, and she loved going out, but that wouldn't be her first choice. And I was getting a sense of that after a while, and I was just kind of sailing it myself a lot. And then I realized if I really want to go cruising and I want to go places, and
because you have aspirations of maybe doing the loop someday.
Oh my God, that's like my number one item on my bucket list.
Now let me. Did you ever think about taking the cat on the?
No way. Number one, you got 25 feet of mast. You have to worry about. And the problem with this particular cat boat is it didn't have room in it. Right, when you're down below in the cabin, it had a head and it had 2 berths and it had a sink and a place to cook and all of that type of thing. But you can't stand in it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
yeah,
it's what they call sitting headroom. You have to sit down and pivot around and crawl around and that type of thing. But if you're going to do any serious cruising, there are people that do it. They'll go out for 2 weeks and they'll do that.
Yeah, right.
But my wife called it camping on a sailboat.
Yeah. And
the older you get,
it gets tougher and tougher.
It just gets tougher and tougher to do it, and so that wasn't her thing. And I figured that if I have to, if I want her to come with me on these, on these cruising trips, that I've got to have something more comfortable.
Right.
And I've had my eye on the Grand Banks as a brand for a very long time. It's been eye candy for me.
Yeah, I'm this. Again, I think Grand Banks. Because I've been around a lot of boats, and you start getting around the CHBs, even my Marine Trader right here.
Mm-hmm.
There is definitely a difference in the quality.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You take an '80s vintage, like mine's an '83, and you put an '83 Grand Banks behind it.
Yeah.
You're still able to buff out that gel coat. You're not doing that on one of these.
Yeah.
This boat has already been painted. I don't even know how many times, but there's just. And the fiberglass, everything's different on it. The GBs, they just, you can tell the difference. When you walk across the superstructures, they are tight and right. There's no giving on the floor. So I see the good quality. So now you're talking to the wife. You guys decided to sell the cat boat, and then?
Yep. I actually made the decision, to sell it because I told her that, listen, I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to be. I want you to want to go.
Okay.
And so that will, we want to cruise the coast of Maine first, and kind of check it out, and do that type of thing, and then maybe someday we'll hit the loop, and so that's what I would love to do.
Well, it'd be cool if you buy it down here. You will have completed about 1/3 of the loop.
Right, because I've got to bring. If I buy a boat here, I've got to bring it back to Boston.
Yeah, right.
And
about. I've done that, and I was doing the math in my head. It's about 6 weeks if you get on it. You can do it in about.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. It's 50-mile trips. Times. It's probably a little over 1,500 miles, somewhere around there. Anyway, so
people have told me that why are you going down to Florida to buy a boat, or why are you going down to Alabama to buy a boat, and it's because this is where the market is. This is where the boats are. And the boats, interestingly enough, that are up in the Northeast, if anyone knows anything about the Northeast right now, it's covered in 2 feet of snow, and it's 0 degrees up there, and you couldn't look at a boat now if you tried. They're all up in the hard.
Yeah. And
there just aren't that many of them, and so this is where the market is.
Yeah, right, down in Florida and Alabama.
Yeah.
Because we're year-round. Our boating around here is year-round, and your boating is limited.
Yep.
So I believe this is where this boat was at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not even too far from your house, actually.
Yeah.
So Pete and my friend Mark picked it up, and they took it down to Delaware City, if anybody following the story. But anyway, so now you're saying I'm going to buy a trawler. You got your eyes set on a Grand Banks, and you probably have a budget set, and I would guess that your budget's under 100K if you're at the
Yeah.
36-foot range.
That's about right.
Because that's about what it's going to cost you. You know, I'd say your all-in type thing, because I know that. So now, you've made the conscious decision to sell it, and now you're buying the trawler. How much trawler experience do you have?
None.
You've never owned a trawler, never bought one.
No.
But
I've been on one.
Okay.
And by the way, I've been watching your YouTube channel for a long time.
Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, and share it with your friends. It's made a difference over the last couple months. It really has. What are you doing, girl?
She's saying goodbye.
You saying goodbye? Good girl. Anyway, again, thanks. Live life with no regret. I do, and I'm sure Jim does too.
I do.
Peace out.
Good. That'll work.
I think that'll work for that.